Hello again, I'm Tim Travis from Xbox Reviews and Verdicts. So in part 1 of my Halo retrospective, I talked about my experience with Halo on the original Xbox and how I got into this series. Part 2 is going to be how I got into this generation of consoles and the launch of Halo 3. Keep in mind, I won't just be talking about Halo, this is also about my history as a gamer, so if you think I get off track, it is a little bit by design. So anyway, enjoy. As you probably know, the Xbox 360 launched in 2005, but the next Halo title was 2 years away. I had all 3 consoles of the last generation, the GameCube, later a PS2, and I got the original Xbox last. Yeah, I was a spoiled only child. I didn't get the Xbox 360 at launch as the library of games at the time didn't appeal to me so much when it came out. But when I got Halo, the 360 really appealed to me as Halo 3 wasn't too far away. Another 360 game that also appealed to me was the original Gears of War, which launched in November of 2006. However, I got a Nintendo Wii for Christmas that year as I was anticipating that console long before my interest in Halo. I enjoyed the Wii, quite a bit actually, but my newfound love of Halo was really eating away at me, and it was obvious I was becoming more and more interested in shooters. The trailers and vidocs for Halo 3 and general hype up to the game's launch meant I wanted a 360 fast. Just like I received Halo 2 for summer the previous year, just before summer in 2007, I got an Xbox 360 along with Gears of War and a subscription to Xbox Live. All of it was awesome.
To end this war once and for all.
Yeah, right.
I played Gears a lot, but I actually wasn't that big a fan of the online component. I found the single player and local co-op the most fun, but the 360 and the Xbox Live subscription gave me a renewed interest in Halo 2. I finally got a chance to play the competitive modes on Live, and I was astounded by it. Sure, I sucked at it, really sucked at it, but I found the big team battle games on those larger maps impressive nonetheless, and my anticipation for Halo 3 only grew. I played the hell out of my 360 that summer, and games like Gears, Halo 2, Crackdown, and various Xbox Live arcade games, but Halo 3 was just around the corner. It was my most anticipated game of the year. By that time, the story of the first 2 Halo games just clicked with me, and I wanted to finish the fight. Badly. As I've said in my previous reviewer diary, I've loved watching video reviews for years, and when I finally watched GameSpot and Game Trailer's glowing reviews for the game, the anticipation only continued to kill me. 2 days after Halo 3's launch of September 25th, 2007, the Halo 3 Legendary Edition came in the mail from Amazon. This was one of the most glorious moments of my gaming career. Microsoft had built up the hype train to a fever pitch, and the game deserved every cent of its marketing campaign. I got home from school on the Friday night after the game came out, and it was the first time I spent an entire night to finish a game in one sitting. It was that damn good. The story was amazing, the gameplay was amazing, the music was amazing, the game was amazing. This was easily the most hyped game I've ever played, and it just lived up to every bit of it. Maybe there were some things I was disappointed by. The graphics weren't as gritty or quite as technically proficient as other games on the console at the time. I would have liked to stay on Earth the entire game, and the sound effects for the weapons weren't as good as I hoped. But since everything else exceeded my expectations, I just couldn't care. To this day, Halo 3 has my favorite campaign for any shooter ever. The enemies were just as fun to fight as ever, and the brutes took over the elite's job very well. The environments were just never dull. ever, which was a problem in some of Halo 2's levels. The events that transpired in Halo 3 were very memorable, and there were some absolutely jaw-dropping moments over the course of the game's campaign. When the Flood came to Earth, when we piloted the UNSC Hornet and took on 2 Scarabs, found a replacement for the first Halo ring, rescued Cortana, and returned to Halo's control room, these and many more events gave me serious goosebumps. It didn't hurt that you could now experience these events in 4-player co-op over live. Marty O'Donnell's score was as good as ever, and conveyed a wide range of themes: heroism, sorrow, mystery. And like the story, it was dramatic but never melodramatic. Simply put, Halo 3's campaign was the perfect end to a great trilogy. The multiplayer was also amazing. I was actually starting to keep up with other players in the non-ranked playlists, and I was having so much fun. But I kept coming back to the campaign for the achievements, which I conducted multiple playthroughs of the game for. Hunting the Skulls was fun, and because of the game's achievements, I actually started playing on the higher difficulties, Heroic and Legendary, but the multiplayer was still there and I kept coming back. It's hard not to talk about Halo 3, or the rest of the Halo series for that matter, and not talk about the community aspects of the game. Halo 3 really gave gamers awesome tools: Forge and Theater mode. I made some of my own maps with the Forge mode, but they kind of sucked. But I was amazed with what other players cooked up. Some of the map variants they made were just impressive. And of course there was the Theater mode, which allowed anyone to showcase their best Battlefield moments and show it off to the world. Probably a lot of Halo 3 veterans remember the video where one guy killed himself with a traffic cone. Crazy stuff ends up happening in the game's sandbox. But many others used the Theater mode for machinima, and this actually became one of the best aspects of the game. Paying attention to series like that of Arbian the Chief from Digital Fear was definitely part of the Halo 3 experience. I'll never forget the time I was at home and then one of my friends called me, laughing in hysterics, telling me to watch some video called Master Chief Sucks at Halo 3. Well, I looked it up and I wasn't disappointed. Hell, the following summer I even tried to make my own machinima series, but it never panned out. I did buy the Heroic map pack when it came out, but the experience for the game only got better when friends got their own Xboxes for Christmas, who I then went on to play with, sometimes staying up all night playing in the game's matchmaking. However, there were some speed bumps and even outright halts in the Halo 3 experience in the coming months. For one, now, not to knock this game, but Call of Duty 4 was released, which I got for Christmas of 8th grade, and I was blown away by that game's campaign and its more advanced multiplayer character customization options and ranking system. It was hard going back to Halo 3 for a while afterwards, and when I did come back, some of my friends were very competitive about the game, and the experience was made a lot less fun when I was trying to catch up to their ranks, which wasn't fun at all. And quite frankly, I had similar problems with Call of Duty 4. Trying to be that competitive gamer just ruined my time gaming. I later started playing GTA 4, which was a great change of pace as I was focused on the game's single player modes and not the hyper stress I was feeling with multiplayer. But during the summer of 2008, I actually went back to Halo, didn't play it competitively, and once again focused on the unranked playlist. But with the start of high school, Halo would take a backseat in my gaming life. During my first 2 years of high school, Halo was still part of my life, but not as much with 2 major titles being released in my freshman year. First was Rock Band 2, which I played with friends endlessly in 2008, and gave me an interest in the history of music. I later even sold my Wii to help pay for a real guitar. The other was Fallout 3, which further helped place competitive multiplayer shooters in the backseat of my gaming life, so I could focus on single-player role-playing games like Fallout and Mass Effect.
But all of this doesn't mean I look at Halo 3 in a bad way. Anything but. The campaign was phenomenal and highly replayable. The multiplayer was just plain fun, and the map packs kept the experience going. And the new Forge and Theater modes did something unique. It made Halo 3 a game that was not only creative in and of itself, but a game that encouraged a culture of creativity. There are so many ways to be a Halo fan: a scholar of the game's canon, a multiplayer veteran, a forger sculpting their own maps, and even filmmakers. I can't think of any other game, at least on the 360, that has such a diverse fan base, all with their own in-game goals. It's hard to find games, especially shooters, that simultaneously create competitiveness and creativity. If I was doing these reviews at the game's launch in 2007, the game would be an easy 10 out of 10. Sure, my experience with the game wasn't perfect, but few games are lucky enough to have a 3-year lifespan between it and the next blockbuster in the series. Few games spent such an exorbitant amount of time in my console's disk drive. I regret nothing. Now, it might seem like Halo isn't important in my life, but stay tuned for part 3 of my Halo retrospective for my take on a Halo side story and a groundbreaking prequel. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, follow the blog, and check out the Facebook page. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy my future videos.